Hello, beautiful people everywhere. This is Think Harder. I'm one of your hosts, Kenny.
And I'm Jake.
And here on Think Harder, we aim to do the thinking for you. We're bringing you what we know of the wonderful world and what it has to offer. We are uncredited experts in everything. You name it. Pokemon, reading receipts to make sure that you got all of the right prices for all of your products.
That's a good
one.
That's
a good one. Yeah, people underestimate that. And another one has to be just dealing with that pesky roommate who just doesn't want to quit whacking on his wiener. That's like a horrible one.
It's definitely up there with my least favorite, but I will say there's probably worse things, right?
There's probably worse things, but you know what? We're going to tackle everything here. If you want to know anything about almost anything, we're not going to talk about
almost anything.
Almost, emphasis
nasties.
on the almost. Yeah, get the hell out of here. You can use the hashtag ThinkHarderPod on Twitter to submit a question if you want us to talk about anything. If there's anything that you want to learn about, we know everything. So don't worry, we're going to cover it for you guys. Or if Twitter's not really your thing, you can shoot us an email over at thinkharderpodcast@gmail.com. So, you know what? Let's quit diddling around. Let's just get right to it. Our first topic has actually been submitted by one of our friends, Lace Cakes, on Twitter.
Shout out Lace, what's going on?
And she submitted farting.
All right.
So we're gonna talk about. I kind of interpreted that in a very loose term, like
pun intended.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So we're gonna see what the world has had to offer in terms of farts in the past, and I went ahead and I found. Get ready for this, Jake. I found some of the most notable farts in recorded history for us to take a look at.
Hit me with it.
So, this comes from a bunch of different sources, bunch of different informations online, but, mostly from my brain because, I remember everything. But one of the first recorded farts in all of history was back in 569 BC.
Holy shit.
Yeah, this one is an old stinker. This one goes way back. We are going way back to the Greek historian Herodotus. Herodotus recorded this event where a couple of folks in ancient Egypt, they didn't really like their king, as that happens in the olden days. He's taking some taxes he shouldn't.
And slaves, probably.
Yeah, he was probably making slaves. Not good. Terrible. It's probably a terrible person. So his name was Apries. Apries was like, I need this shit to stop. We need these people to get the hell under control. Like, stop bullshitting around, people. So he sent out one of his generals, Amasis. And I know it's two A names. Deal with it. This is history, people. I'm not trying to beat around the bush here. Amasis with my molasses to stop the rebellion of these troops that were just being way too rowdy. Calm down. So he went out to take care of this, but the rebels kind of saw Amasis as a natural born leader, and they were just kind of like, dude, why the hell aren't you on this throne? You should be there. It's like a classic Game of Thrones situation we got going on here. Yes. So, Amasis is just hanging out with these rebels and is like, yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you guys want to do that? All right. And Apries is like, what the hell, man? I thought we had a deal. You were one of my top generals. what the hell? So he's got to send another person down to be like, are you shitting me? So Petarbimus. Petarbimus.
Sound it out. You got it.
Patarbemis is sent down to deal with Amasis now, who's amassed a big army. And Amasis was like, listen, I don't think Apries has got his head on just right. So, by being persuaded by these rebels, his response to the new the messenger, he just ripped one. He just fucking farted and was like, you could send that back to Apries. Like, that's how the story goes.
Holy shit.
And he's like, fuck you guys. Like, that's just stupid.
Could you imagine, like, just imagine the look on that dude's face. He just rips the juiciest medieval fart on him.
Medieval? Dude, this is like BC era. This is like rocks coming out of his fucking ass.
Okay, he farts and makes whatever they're called, stone tablets.
They're using papyrus. They are, of course, using papyrus. It's Egypt. Come on, grow up. I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, papyrus starts rolling out of his ass. Wipe it up. All right.
Yeah, come on,
Amasis.
guy. You ain't got time for this in whatever frickin' tablet men BC century we live in.
So eventually this fart heard round Egypt makes his way back to Apries, and he's not having it. He got it wasn't. The sources didn't know if it was Petarbimus who relayed the message directly back to Apries, but it was said whoever.
That would be That would be an interesting wrinkle in the story, though, if that dude, made up the story, but he was really the one that wanted to send the fart message.
Oh my God!
You know what I'm
thinking? Could you imagine if Petarbimus was like, Amasis, I love what you're doing here. Listen, this is amazing. I know exactly what to do. I'm going to tell this fucker that you farted at me. and he's going to get so mad. I'm
going to go right into that fucking king throne, look him straight in the eyes, and I'm just going to flop my nuts down and just take a big, wet, flappy, cheeky fart. Wow.
Put it right down his gullet while he's like sucking in air for a snore. Ooh. Wow. And he wakes up to that.
Oof.
That's a dead king right there. He's not even waking up after that.
Wow. I can't. The first ever recorded fart, man. You wouldn't think a story like that would have such vengeance behind it,
Well, you know what? I'm sure there's more recorded farts. This is like one of the top tier, though.
Definitely,
because like people since like olden days. You know what's super interesting? Coughs, sneezes, hiccups, burps. Like we just like don't even care about that shit anymore. But you like rip a fat one from your anal hole.
It's a whole nother ballgame.
People get upset. People get pissed. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just because it smells.
You have two categories of people, really. You've got the people who laugh hysterically at farts, and then you got the grumpies who are like, what the fuck? You just gave me...
Oh, you farted in my general direction. Please cease to exist. And then they just like fetch their butlers on you, and you're not even... You're never seen again because you just wanted to do a little squeak from the behind. Apparently, what happened with Apries, he got this message, and he was so pissed immediately as the messenger was probably like, "Sir, they farted. They didn't care about what you said." He killed the messenger person right then and there.
Holy shit. That's so badass.
Their nose got cut off, and their ears got cut off, and then they just burned to death.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I was like, how are you going to kill the messenger boy, bro? But
you know what that king should have did? Would have been really fucking cool. Cut the dude's nose off and then stick it up his ass and fart. I'm just saying that would have been messed up.
That would have been a nice twist to this story. But the people found out about Aprius doing this to the messenger person, and they got even more mad. Even more rebels started showing up. They grew stronger. And later that same year, 569 BC, Amasis was crowned the new official king of Egypt after the rebels took over of Aprius' reign. So a fart changed the course of Egyptian history.
Hey, if a fart can do it, why can't the American people do it?
Listen, all it takes is one fart.
One fart could bring us all together, or it could all,
it could divide
crumble.
us. It could be like a nuclear bomb. It could be a nuclear fallout situation. Somebody just rips one so powerful that the entire United States just gets leveled to the ground. I don't want that to happen, though.
No. I don't think anybody does.
Hold it in, everybody. Hold it in. Because nothing is worth that. So that's our first little fart story. But you know what? Let's step away from the history. Let's take a dive into the fantasy realm of flatulence.
Oh, all right, here we go.
So Francois Rabelais, he was a writer from, I'm assuming, France. Didn't care to look that information up, but he wrote Gargantua and Pantagruel in 1532. This is widely considered to be the first ever fantasy novel. So people like Tolkien and other folks, they all derive from Mr. Francois over here and his tall tales of giants and dwarves and everything that comes in with that high fantasy realm. But at one point in the story, there is a giant. It never really goes into what type of giant it really is, but
the BFG.
It might be the BFG. The BFG is going to rain hell among this earth. So there's this giant in this story. He just had this big old barking spider problem. He was always just farting every day, all the time. Apparently, though, in the story, there was one fart so powerful that dwarves ejected from his rectum, and that's how the dwarves were created. Yes. Here's a direct quote. But with the fart he blew, the earth trembled for 27 miles round, and with the fetid air of it he engendered more than 53,000 little men. little poop guys, little poop people running around.
Oh my god, little poop nuggets.
Could you imagine? I'm thinking this. Hear me out.
Okay.
They're already there. The seeds have already been planted.
Sure.
The dingleberries, if you could stomach that.
Yes.
And as soon as he rips one more powerful enough, they just all go flying onto the earth. And that's when they're all born, is when they crash land into earth after hanging around.
Jesus Christ. This sounds like a fever dream.
1532. The Enlightenment, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Francois Rabelais.
Good job, Francois, my boy.
Yeah, that is a wild trip right there.
I can't even imagine what do you think he was on back then to come up with that? He had to have been high, right?
Yeah. Probably. I mean, what the hell did they do? Just fucking smell oil paint?
Yeah. Snort candle wax?
Yeah. I don't know. Rub nice linens on themselves until they got hot. I don't know. I don't know what the hell. There were probably so much fumes from the printing press being invented and everything.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That shit was everywhere. The ink that went into that, people were probably going, yeah, they probably still used lead as like a fucking drink back then.
And Coke was actually inside Coca-Cola.
Yeah, obviously. Well, like if